Hello everyone, let's play some chess games. Send me challenges if you want to play and let's start. We have Caro-Kann defense, we will try to play Alien Gambit here. Okay, knight g5 and I will try to take this f7 pawn. Bishop went forward to defend that, but let's trade because that's active there, so I don't like that. We can trade and take this now. Because king takes, I have knight g5 check and e6 will drop after that. Well, now e6 is hang. He can't protect. So I can try even to go queen b3. And that should be open check. How he can defend that? Probably. Okay, he missed a fork. Let's do it first. Queen d5, he centralized his queen, but he missed that he's gonna miss the rook and not the exchange because he can't take the knight back, okay? Oh, he misses the queen. He spent nearly 30 seconds and he misses the queen. We'll try to bring the bishop on d2 or rook e1. That's two moves can happen there. Okay, he abandoned the game. Let's play another one. We are going to be 1800. Let's offer him trade because I will have so good center on that. Also I can play d5 and take to open my left square bishop way and bring it out. Okay, we have really good protection on that d4, so he can't jump. And one thing that I'm happy to see his h2 pawn isn't defended. The knight on f3 isn't here, and I should create a attacking plan there. Let's bring the bishop out. Even bishop h3 can be a move, just to bring it on that weak squares. But first I can try h4 or not. I'm trying to be a little bit aggressive, just long castle. And probably I can force him to take the knight or not. I don't know, probably try to go h4 can be right idea there. Let's bring the knight back. And if he takes, so at the time I can take. Okay, I sacrificed the rook. But because I can go h4. Okay, he saw that. What if I take? He's gonna lose a pawn or not, I'm not sure. This is hang, g7 is hang, but if he takes, rook g8 and another pawn would be hang, I would sacrifice from there. Okay, no problem. Now I'm gonna open this file. And then h2 will be under attack. Well, let's take. Also, he's trying to sacrifice that before pawn. Because if I take, that should be open, which I probably don't like. He hangs h2. Okay, his king is a little bit defended, so still I can't break his position. I will try to sacrifice like him. G4. Okay, I think we don't need to care about this pawn on c6, even if we take. Okay, I'm not losing anything there. Ah, okay, I will play 1 vs 1 with you, but after this game, okay? Let's see, can we win here or not? Where can I bring the queen? Okay, c7 is protected, he can take with the knight, and I'm trying queen f2 and g2 check. No problem, bro. There is no difference how's your rating. I will play with you anyway. Okay, we have open check. Rook b7, okay. Ah, okay, that's another way for that. But you are a pro? Okay. Atlas YouTube sent me challenge. Let's play with you, with him. I think that's your account or not. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna send him challenge. Atlas YouTube, I sent you challenge. Accept and let's play. Ten min. Okay, I'm sending you 10 minutes. My rapid rating C is a very high than Blitz or bullet game. That's about calculation, you know? And he's a new player, so I will say that this overextended pawns isn't that good, you know? Just g4 is a hanging pawn that I can take that. And you need also to bring your pieces in the center. Okay, he is trying to kick the bishop, which is a really good idea, but because all his pieces on that first rank, he needs to activate. I'm not speaking about the king. You need to move your king on that side and bring it safety, not bring it center. You need to bring the center, all these pieces. That should be made after some moves. Blanc cloud. Okay, that's not blanc cloud, but... Ah, okay, sorry. Just king e2 and king e7, okay? You are speaking about that. Well, really blanc cloud. Or just blunder, okay? And queen d1 will be moved, that I'm gonna mate. Okay, let's play with him one more game. If you won't send me challenge, I will play next time with you. Okay, you played not bad, just 7 or 8 moves you played great. But that king move I can't understand how. Okay, bro, thank you for that. Let's play another game. Here I haven't any challenge. Thank you all. I will wait for your challenges. If you want to play, send me and I will try to hit 1800 like I used to be, 2000 as Blitz. Because that's a little bit low. He's trying to take the knight and then e4 pawn will be hang. So let's defend e4 pawn and knight f3, okay? See how I'm bringing these pieces into the center and defending all this. Can I go d5? The idea is if he takes, I would like to take with the knight and fork his bishop and queen. That should be trade, but I like that anyway. His bishop is open, he's pressuring that. So I have to take, I think. My knight, I will say, is hang because if he takes, my pawns will be double. But even e4 is under attack if I bring it back. So let's defend it one more time, and probably we need to bring the knight back. My pawns should be double. Okay, he saw that. Just I would lose a move there for protecting this knight. Okay, no problem. We will try to be a little bit aggressive. Probably f5 and e5 can work. Just f6 is his knight on f6. I think e5 can be really good game. Because queen g4. Okay, not now, but because my bishop is under attack. I'm friends with a man called Karl Magnusson. Okay, I don't know him. Where is he from? If you say that, probably I will recognize or not, I'm not sure. There is some GMs that's expecting your friend request. I'm not sure they will play or not, but they are going to accept. I will try queen g6. Probably he need to defend that, and if not, okay, he knew that he needs to defend, and also he's bringing his pieces and pressuring f-file. So I would like to bring queen g6 and try to mate from h7. Knight is threatening your rook. He's trying to send a sign. Now he's not attacking anything, and even at the time he's trying to take this pawn. If I go forward... okay. Probably you said about this because e3 he would try to fork me from e3, okay? Before. I thought that should be okay, or probably I missed. I'm not sure. I will try to trade this f-pawn because my f-pawn foot under attack, and then if I kick his queen at the time I can bring it into the game. That should be a mistake or not. Not sure. Don't promote your pawn yet, only promoting mid-game or mid-end game. I'm not trying promote, I'm trying to just take that pawns and some trade to open my position. See if when I traded the pawn on f5, I trade on e6, right? I am opening my rook side. But now I can trade, and even e5 pawn is a really active there, so I can push it and try to promote. Probably that's not happen because he has really much pieces over there, but probably he needs to sacrifice something for defending that. Okay, I'm overprotecting my bishop and the other bishop is still attacking on the queen. What if I take? Okay, my time is very low. I need to be fast, but my position is really great. I'm not even up a pawn. But see, I'm overpressuring his side. He's sacrificing this for defend his position a little bit. Okay, I'm a little bit worried about my time, but I'm not sure what he's trying. Maybe he thought that I should do pre-move. Probably that's why he attacked my queen, but he knows that I should take, okay? G5, I expected that. I'm gonna win him in the next move. He's trying to tire me out, but that wouldn't happen. And... okay. He's not losing his hope, which is the best thing, but... anyway, I won that. Well, let's play another game. If we can, I will show you Vienna Gambit. I am not sure you know that or not, but that's very tricky, you know? Just knight c3 and f4 is a move. When you don't go d4, just d3 to protect d4 pawn and try to attack your king's side. If I have chances, I will show you that to you. And g4 is unprotected, he can't jump with very much pieces over there. What if we just defend? Okay, I don't need to take. Just, you can take my bishop, why not? The difference is now I have really good center. e5 just... now I can't go. Let's go back, let's see if he gonna play g5 or not. I will have this trade. I need to take with a knight or with a pawn, I'm not sure, because if I take with the pawn, knight d7 and that should be under attack. Probably I needed to take with a knight. When trading that helping your opponent, let's not just trade some pieces, because it's don't need me, okay? I would like to probably take down g6 after maybe trading this knight, because that's a pin he can take, but he brought his bishop. And now b7 is hanging, that's why I brought my queen on b3. Okay, he's not hanging anything. g4 is a little bit... I'm not sure, probably a risky move, yes? My blitz and bullet rating is almost half my rapid rating. I am 21 in my rapid and 1700 in blitz. There are 400 rating difference. That means our calculation and memorization is a very good than our play when we are playing fast, okay? Our fast calculation, I will say. Probably you have really good calculation, yes? How much is your rating? Let's go f5 to kick his bishop. That goes back, but because my position is a little... I'm not sure, maybe that's really time to bring another pieces into the game. I can't check, but I would like... I trapped his bishop, okay? I am down a minute, but my position is I don't know, winning. Because he's gonna lose a bishop. That's why I brought my rook on a1. I saw that he will gonna lose that bishop. That's why you need to have really good calculation. He needs to sacrifice the rook. That's not a brilliant, just he's saving his queen. Queen e2, let's bring bishop back, because my bishop isn't doing anything on h4 square. I can even try to trade the queens, okay, I'm gonna pin this, and in that, because queen is the really tricky in that game, you need to trade that, okay, at the time 1100 at the moment, highest was 1200. Not very bad, you know, you are playing really good than about 90% of chess.com player. I don't know you know that or not, but that's according by chess.com. Knight f6 is a mistake in this position because that's why I like that opening. That's really tricky. He can take the pawn and then d5, bring his piece back, but I won't say that should be bad for me. That should be normal, you know? Oh yes, I checked. Okay, be happy about that. And my rating, I will say my rapid rating is higher than 99.9% of people. You can check it too if you want, that's just a fact. I went e5 to bring h5 my pawn, but now that can't happen. I didn't think he would try to go h5 because he's just deactivating his knight. But if I take check or not, I'm not sure. King h8 should be only move, and how can I bring my pieces on that activity? Let's bring bishop out, and because I'm attacking on the knight, and even I'm protecting my knight on e7. Well, let's try to double his pawns. His pawns are going to be double, which, because we are going to endgame, that's really good thing for me. So I'm trying to go g4, I went king h2. Okay, the bishop was defending that. Because rook f4 is defending that square, after g4 he can bring it back and protect. That's why I brought that. Okay, he shouldn't miss that. And he isn't missing anything. He's connecting his pawns. That's the thing you need to do in the end games. a3. Okay, a3 can also be good move, but you need to try to bring your rooks on that 7th rank. That's why he brought his rook on b8 to protect the pawn, because somehow he couldn't protect that. Another pawn is hang. I'm not sure he missed that or not. Okay, see, I said I was down a pawn, but now this is secure because my position was very active at the time. Let's attack on the rook. That's why he needs to have calculation, because he can't bring his rook on b7. And in the next move I will try to pressure this b6 pawn, because that's defended by the knight. Okay, now not. Okay, c2, I'm hanging this, not a problem. Because anyway I have this passed pawn, and because b pawn is defending c pawn's way, I would be happy to push this forward. And also in the end games, bishops are so powerful than the knights. You can see the result here. Because bishop is even defending some squares that his knight can't jump. Rook b8. And if he not take, I will make a new queen, and that's defended. GG, but I have only 11 seconds. And I even need to be some pre-moves, but I would like to see rooks are traded. Okay, which is traded, and let's take the pawn. his knight, okay, that was under attack, but not a problem, he isn't missing anything. Okay, he's check and trying to time me out. We have to play some pre-moves. Otherwise we will lose that. Okay, I don't know why I'm doing this because I have only 3 seconds. Okay, not check. You saw that was very bad. He tried to time me out. Okay, he did that, but very bad game played from him. Well, that's why my rapid rating is 400 rating more than this. Okay, not a problem. Queen d6 to also protect d5, because if he tries to remove these defenders from d5 he can take at the time. And what if knight g6, because that was under attack, and even e7 wouldn't free at the time, so we can trade and I can castle. I need to take with a knight, okay, because he could take that d5 and win a pawn from me. Let's castle. If he takes, I would be happy about that. Even this pawn on d5 would be defended. And if it's even not, the rook would be open at the time. That's why probably he's not taking. His queen is under attack and he missed that fork. Probably he thought that I'm gonna take the bishop. Okay. Let's take the pawn or not. You know why I'm worried about? Because if he takes the pawn, I take his rook, other knight would be hang. But if he takes, I can bring my knight back. Let's take a1 pawn, a1 rook, because his another rook is going to be very deceptive there. Let's push this because he was pressured that pawn. And what should I do? Let's bring another rook. Just first let's be sure we are not losing only a pawn or a figure. I don't know. Because we are going endgames. Knight f7 check. The difference is that now I can bring my king on h7. If it's not, just king g8. That should be open check and take my rook. Let's attack on the knight or not. Not because he would try to take that. These two pieces are under attack. Okay, he's protecting the bishop, that's why he's not gonna lose some materials there. I will say that's the only move and I believe there is no trouble for me. I will be happy if I can bring my knight on that. e3. Or probably before I will try to fork the pawns and take one of them. If I take that d3 pawn, let's see he gonna give it to me or not. Okay, he's completely giving it to me, so now I have really good passed pawn. Okay, he hasn't any attack. But rook a8, just bishop f5, that should be open check, and I would be down a figure there, that's why. Pinned, okay, I can't pin, but after bishop f5 my rook is undefended, he would take that. That's why I didn't that pin. But I went king h8, so he couldn't check at that time. Okay, I can bring my knight on f2 and try to mate him from h1. g4 can be a move. After g4, what should I play? Let's sacrifice the rook. Oh, that pin would mean a rook loss. Okay, let's see. Really good mate here. And I sacrificed even my knight on f7. Sorry, my rook. Okay, what are you thinking about that? Just 4 games and we will have 1800. I am slowly bringing my rating back. I don't care about rating so much, but when you have much rating, you are playing really good players, you know. Let's castle and rook a8. Probably not a rook, because rook on a8 isn't doing anything. Let's force him to take. Okay, he's not taking. And I don't know, can I take this pawn or not? Because if he takes with a bishop, bishop b4 can be moved. You know why? Because his rook would be under attack and his queen. But I think bishop b4 right away is the best move there. Because now his rook was under attack and his queen is under attack. So I took a pawn from there. Yeah, rating is like power levels in DBC. Yes. Yes, sure. He's losing his second piece or not? Okay, he lost a pawn, but what should I do? My queen would be hang after that. I think I need to defend this pawn and bring queen, for example g4, to also continue to defend d4, because if it's not, he would take. Or even queen e7, just we should be sure he's not trying to attack on my queen and distract it and take this d4. Okay, if I take, we will trade here. Okay, that should be winning. See? Okay, his rook is hang, and not the rook, his hangmate into. Okay, that's why you need that calculation. Only 5 minutes and 4 or 5 moves I calculated, and that leads to winning. Okay, let's castle. Okay, probably I could even sacrifice the bishop. Let's open this. I don't need even to take, you know. Let's play d4, because his king's still in the center. I would like to have some trade. But how? I'm trying to open this position. We sacrificed the pawn for that. That's a little bit unclear, but I don't know. I would like to check him on h5 and probably try to take this pawn. That should be miss from him, because knight d5, his queen is under attack and I'm trying to fork him from c7. Okay, he went back. I'm happy to see that's a move that he didn't need to play. I'm pressuring on e5 and I will take that if he give it to me. So he needs to defend, but because that should be a little bit hard to defend, because there isn't an attacker that can be in that square on e5 or even defend. So if he takes with a pawn, I have queen trade. If I take, he will try to trade the queens, which I don't like, because my queen is so active there and my position is, I think, winning. I'm up only 2 pawns, but I don't need that pawns, so let's try to understand. I'm up queenside pawns, but that's really don't need me, because my play in this king side, if I bring the rook, queen c5 check, what should we do? Okay, if we check from b5, c6 could be move, and I need to bring back to lose a move there. Okay, he is trading the queen for rooks, which is really good for that, but now I can't win. I have winning chances, but not mate, because not much pieces over his position. Just, I would say his pawns are gonna drop on queenside, and because he brought the bishop, now that 8th rank is open, so I checked him from c8, and I was gonna take the rook on h8, that's why he resigned. d4. Okay, let's have this center. I will trade bishop c4 or b5, I'm not sure. To defend the knight or not the knight. Everything is hanging, I don't understand. If he takes the knight, d4 would be hang. Defending a4. Also, let's bring the pieces. Bishop b5. I'm trying to go d5 and take the knight. If I go, I'm not sure, he just can't take g2 pawn, which I don't like. If I go d5, l6, and that should be just trade. a6 is the only move that not losing a piece. I believe that losing a pawn, because rook back. Another pawn is gonna lost. Okay. Well, rook b7, just I can check. I can't protect this b7 pawn, because if he picks some pieces there, just he will take that for sure. So let's don't think about that. Let's try to push that queenside pawns. Okay, still nothing is under attack, just I will overprotect c-file. He can't bring his rook on that open file, I occupied that. My king side is a little bit open, but there is a little bit hard to create anything. He's trying to trade. I don't need that, right? I would like to trade some pieces there, because I'm up a pawn and that's not the end of the world for him. But the main thing that I have really good queenside pawns, so I can use it and take a win. h2 is under attack. I have a plan. I will go f3 and forcing his knight to go back, and I will take it with my bishop, because his knight can create some troubles to me. So I'm not sure what is he doing. Let's take with a pawn, because if I take with a queen from h2 would be made after some moves. Okay, he's trying to bring it on f2. Can I suck the queen or not? If not, can he mate? Okay, my time is so low. We can take a little bit risk here. Okay, the difference is now I can protect from my bishop on a3. At another time the knight was defending a3. So that means I couldn't. From g7 should be made. Okay, if I trade the queens that should be losing for me, because my time will be just runs off, you know. He's trying to check and time me out. Let's bring the queen safety. Let's do that because we have no time. Well, my time was a little bit low. Maybe I can try to play 3+2. Because in the late game I haven't just some seconds to play and think about that, okay? We can castle. I think rapid is easier on mobile. For me, I don't think that's easier, you know, because the computer, yeah, is a really big than the pawn, so you can just concentrate very easily. But when I used to play with a pawn, that should be a little bit hard for me to play from my computer. That's probably why. Let's bring knight back. Oh, okay, just I would like to take the knight. a5 and then d4, or even this pawn is hang. I will take it as c5 will be hang. c-file is open. Okay, what is he trying to do? There's still no threat, so knight d4. You are a YouTuber too? What is your name? Fuchs Gaming VT? Probably YT. Or not. Let's go knight a5. Just c2 is under attack. He took because if I take, he can check and take my queen, okay? Let's not do that. Okay, and that second pawn we won't take. That should be open h file and lost for us. Can I try with the knight or not? Because if the king, that should be mate or not. Okay, I can bring my king on that f6. Try to escape because somehow my king side bulldozed. Okay, the only undefended figure was that the rook. So he took. Oh, okay, I think I'm gonna be made. He played very well, just 2 sacrificing 1 game. No problem, let's play another one. I will play 3+2 this time. Elephant Gambit, okay? Okay, let's defend this a4, probably knight f3 can be moved. Bishop d3, but anyway I will try to defend this d4 pawn because he's trying to bring huge attack on it, just knight c6 and bishop g7. Well, let's bring the other knight. I don't need to play with the same piece 2 moves in this opening, okay, because I need to bring my pieces out as soon as possible. He's trying to create a threat because maybe you see that d4 is hang, so if he takes with a bishop and I will take with the knight after queen takes bishop b5 and he will lose that. He's trying to castle and that shouldn't be check, okay, even now. But I would be happy if he takes that pawn and trade this bishop, okay, because knight f6 he needs to trade. So I will trade that too. And if it's not, just king f8 can be only move, which he is playing. I would like to go knight a5, but I will blunder the pawn on d4, right? His position is closed, but his king in the middle, I will say, just it can't castle. He's trying to go g5, try to take the knight, because if I go bishop back, the knight will be hang. But if g5, okay, let's sacrifice, and the difference is his position is open at this time, which it wasn't open. Okay, but if we trade the queens or not, because I sacrificed one, I don't think I need to trade anything. Knight a5 or not? Knight a5, I'm a little bit worried about this knight, but knight a5, but if I bring the queen on a3, because that will cut from his queen, and that should be okay. Check or not, because if he sacrificed the knight, my bishop would be hang. But I have really good move, just I will take the knight on e7 first, and then the rook if he thinks about that. Okay, which he did, probably he misses that bishop a7 can happen. Probably he thought that after I will take the rook, my bishop would be free for him, but that's never happened. I will try to bring the rook, and probably I will try to use this f7 weakness for mate him. Rook d8, or even this rook on d8 from a1, because from d8 I will try mate, and this rook I can bring a1. Well, let's attack, and because this g6 isn't protected, that's a pin, and the knight isn't guarding, I would like to bring my bishop there and try to mate him from f7. I sacrificed the material there, but because I brought the rook back, now I have one rook against his two pieces, but his king side is a little bit weak and his queen side is closed, just he needs to bring his bishop on d7, even b5 and bishop b7 could work. So I need to try to use that pieces as my advantage because his position wasn't that good at the time. We can bring the rook on g4, okay? h4 won't work because I would like to bring on 8th rank, so the time that just can't work. Just I'm trying to pressure his bishop, and after king e7 if he tries to even run somehow, rook will be hanged, so I'm trying to see if that gonna work, but that seems now it can't, because the bishop is overprotected. Okay, I would like to mate him from d8, but just bishop on a8 is protecting. Is defending that too, but I have really good rook sacrifice, because if he takes, his knight will be hanged, and the problem for him is that rook d3 and rook g3 now can happen, and the difference is that he can't he couldn't just go back on a fate to defend. He can't take the bishop, because if he takes rook gt check, which he's doing, he will lose this rook on h7, and that should be winning for me. Okay, he chooses to be made only move rook g7, and I will take. Okay, let's say I tricked him, just he will gonna lose the rook after king f8. That should be not very bad position for him, but anyway, that's a losing, and I reached that position when I sacrificed. Okay, we played really good, we are close to be 1800. c5. Okay, we have a Lapin Gambit here, he played that. Knight f6 or not? Ah yes, let's just get some simple development. Bishop f5, bishop d6. My favorite opening, just rook e8. I have this open file. He's closed this e file for him, so that should be a really good idea if I try to attack on his position somehow. I don't think I need to try this bishop, because after queen d6 or c7, after kicking the knight, this mate threat on h2 will be difficult for him to activate his pieces. Also, the knight need to guard that, so I will try to take the knight. The idea is that I will try to create that tricky position, and bishop f4 take the knight, I will mate, but let's not forget that he can also do some moves. For example, if he takes the bishop, I will take from this d5 pawn, and his knight anyway needs to go to not lose it, because at the time the pawn would attack on there. Let's see how he gonna play. Probably he's thinking about weakness for his h2. Bishop b4, that's why you need to calculate these moves. Bishop d3, probably you can think that after bishop d3 I need to trade, but bishop a4 is a threat anyway, because after trade I can even take with a pawn, and he should be down a figure there. Okay, I'm not sure what he's planning, probably knight d5, but at the time he will lose a pawn, and from h2 will be threat. Let's see what he's thinking. He's looking on b7 and after that the rook, but I'm trying to mate just after taking the knight. Even rook d1 will be a little bit hard to defend also. Okay, let's get this straight. And f4 won't work, I will take en passant. Knight d4, yes? Or h5. I think d5 can be really good, because h5 I would like to take the g3, and after this trade he should lose that. Let's run v1 now. Know all the skills that I need to use. Okay, bro, I will play. Let's wait until I will finish this, okay? You learned that skills from me or not? I think my streams are helpful. What are you thinking about that, yes? Or not? d5 is protected, so still I can't take. I'm not sure. That should be trade, but other way I will lose a piece, so let's take the figure. Okay, wait me on chess.com, I will finish this. Let's take the rook, and another rook is hang. He needs to run that, and knight d2 can be a move if he takes the knight, just that should be a cool position. Probably he didn't like that. Okay, let's not get mate. Knight d2, just queen c3, and I'm not sure. Okay, let's check first, but I think I can defend these two pieces. How can I? Okay, that's why you don't need to bring that bishop on b8. Okay, bro, send me challenge. I will wait for you. Are you sending? Okay, I think there is a problem. So let's play one more game until you will be ready. d5? Ah, okay, e5 is under attack. Let's bring it forward and take pawn on d5. What's your username on chess.com? Say your username, I will send you challenge. Atlas YouTube? I played with you some games later. I am remembering, right? Oh, okay. I just opened that friend list, and I didn't see that you are in chess.com. That's why I thought that even there's a problem with internet, so probably you didn't you couldn't find me because for internet. So that's why I started new game. I became better. I'm happy to listen that. Now we will check. Knight b4 is a really good move, okay? Because if I take the pawn, that should be just straight, but his queen and his pawn is under attack, so I'm taking this pawn as free. Bishop f3 or not, because after this trade, but really I don't think he will trade, because queen d7 h3 just g2 is a unstoppable positions like that. But bishop f3, I will lose the knight on d3. Probably he tried to trick me. Well, not a problem. My knight is doing great job, but see that he can't play any move there. Just everything is defended. And he can even activate the bishop, which is blocking the rook on a1. Just b5 pawn can't be forward, and queen c2 bring his bishop. I think that should be only idea. He needs to try to take the knight on d3, but I'm wondering knight a5 and f3 or not, because this knight is doing great job here, just not letting his pieces get activation. There is no normal move that he can play. Probably that was only one. Can I go back? Okay, I don't need his strength to go b3 and bring his bishop out. And before bishop out can also be moves there. Can I try to trap his queen or not? Knight e5 and my knight on c4 will do great job. So if I were as right, I won't plunder c4 square, which will be really helpful for me, you know. And even f3 can be moved. Let's trade or not. I think if I trade, just this queen and bishop diagonal will be open. So let's not do that. Okay, we can get some trade, why not? f3 is defended, so if the knight wasn't guarding there, probably I would jump there to trade with his bishop. His position getting a little bit good, but I believe that should be temporary. His bishop is under attack, and what if I bring the rook in the middle? The difference, now I'm trying to bring this on b3, which he missed because he played fast. If he takes, it should be lose a queen for him. Just I will trade. I try to trade rook and knight for his queen, but he prefers to sacrifice the bishop. The knight for defending this position. So I'm up exchange. I will trade, and that should be good position for me. What should I do? What are you thinking about, for example? Queen g7? Okay, because now my queen and bishop has really good diagonals. But probably he can even play g4, which I missed. I need to bring it back. And also I can move the knight, okay? Probably he thought that he can close that squares where I can jump, trick me, and to win this position, okay? Which he's trying to do, but now I will say this g7 is now open with 3 pieces and somehow I can't defend. That shouldn't be very bad for me because my left square bishop is defending anyway. He can't even go back, but I'm afraid that I can't even take the knight because that's overprotecting with this diagonal. But the happy news that happy news that that needs to protect all this diagonal. He's thinking from g7 he can mate, but probably he didn't realize that f5 can be moved and that's open queen. Okay, that should be nice position for me. He missed that, that's why now I'm up rook. Okay, we played so much in that defensive position, so let's try to get some attack. What I did. Okay, he didn't see that. My queen was hung. His bishop was so tricky at the time. Our time is a low, that's why. Okay. Okay, I think here you are. d5, okay. That's a typical Sicilian defense, so let's bring these pieces in the center. Knight f6. Okay, knight c6 can be moves. And castle, okay. Void Ludovo, I think that's your account. Well, I'm playing with you. I just played him with him some games ago. I think that's you or not, or you should be that YouTube. I had one request at the time too. Atlas YouTube, what's your account? Which one is yours? Let's bring bishop out. And that still won't work. I would like to go d4, just because his pawn structure is really good on the center. And even at the time I will try to undouble my pawns. Okay, d4 and trade. Queen g3, what is he trying to do? Probably try to disturb my knight from that f6, and g7 would be very weak. But I will try to close his bishop way and even undouble my pawns. So his bishop is very deceptive. He needs to try to open this diagonal, try to even mate from g7, create some mate threats, but that should be hard. I am wondering that probably I can sacrifice the knight on f5 because if he takes, I can go bishop d6 and take his knight. Because if he goes back, just his rook and or queen will be under attack. Let's see how he will gonna take. Even if I take, I'm not sure. Okay, the knight is hang anyway, so there is no need bishop d6 because rook h4, h7 would be hang. f5 just for kick that rook, okay. And if it's not, just I will bring my rook and double this. Let's see how he will gonna play. His queen side is closed, there is just active one bishop, and I would say that this active in this position because I blocked that for the reason. Okay, he's not taking. I'm a little bit not waited for that, and if he takes from f1 will be mate, and he missed the mate. Really good mate, what are you thinking? Okay, let's play a rematch with him. Let's start open with d4. Really tricky game was that last, okay? We have Alien Gambit here. Not yet, but let's see if he not defend this from h6 or not. Okay, that's the main line I am happy to see. Bishop g6, just I will try Merchant Gambit here. And he, at the time, he needs to take with a f7 pawn. Okay, his bishop is active, so the main thing that you need to do in that Alien Gambit to become weak is white squares. So because his bishop is out, we can't make it easy to win this. Even we are going to sacrifice material. Bishop e7 would be mistake. Okay, so he's not doing that. Because after sacrifice and g5 check, he needs to bring his king back, so he would lose this e6 pawn too. Which computer don't like. Computer says that Alien Gambit, when you are sacrificing the knight, that's mistake or blunder. I'm not remembering, right? But that's up. If I check, I'm wondering mate, but still I can fork and take his rook. Let's take a risk. King back. I can try to go b3 and mate from a3 or knight c4 check. Let's calculate. I think I can sacrifice the knight. King d4, okay. Let's check one more time. King back, b3 for sure. He hasn't any move or not? Okay, king a4, but his king will be really overextended. So f3, king f4. Okay, bishop a3, how we can defend against it? Probably c5, the difference will be that he can escape on that c6 square. But if I check, he hasn't just any move he can play. Everything is defended. He misses mate or not. c5 is only move. Let's do this pre-move. I was sure that's the only move, okay. Queen d6 isn't fork, so his knight will be hang, I will take the knight. That's why you need to have a little bit risk. So I couldn't even take the rook, which I didn't force take his queen or try to mate. Okay, which I'm doing. and for sure that should be winning. Let's get some trades and castle. Okay, GG. Now I will try to take his remain figures. Rook a1. Let's bring rook a1 from a1 because this rook isn't doing anything at the time. Okay, open check. He's trying to trick me. Just I used to be 2200, you know. My rapid rating was that. Anyway, I'm not typical 1700, you know. Can I sacrifice or I don't need? That should be overextended. I would like to go c7 and mate, but his knight is defending. So because that's defending, we will go c4, try to take the knight. Okay, you need to think about opponent's side, because queen c6 from b7 will be made. He probably misses that, but if he knows about that, he won't play that because somehow he can't defend. He needs to close that rook side, but every move will be blunder. And that's why you need to think about opponent's side too. And also you need to improve your calculation. Okay, and that's made. Let's accept his challenge. If you want to play, send me challenge. I will accept. Same position like you played, birds opening. Let's open the bishop even e6 and I can activate the bishop from b7. That's move that you are trying to bring your pieces on queen side, because these pawns would go forward at the time, but also what you want to play, that shouldn't be a mistake, you know. If it takes, my pawns are double, but not problem. Not problem, because I can push this and get some trade. And when you have double pawns in the center, there is no problem, because you can trade it anytime you want. Like now. Okay, I'm a little bit worried about these isolated pawns. Isolated pawns is a little bit weak, but I will say not very much, because in the end game, when you can keep that pawns, there's being really trouble for your opponent. Hikaru can just use this isolated pawn as pawn chain. I would like to bring my pieces most active squares, and this time that should be knight on a3. Just see a piece and think about that where you need to bring it to be most active in a most active square, so you can attack on his position. And I am seeing his weakness is a3, so I will try to jump with my knight there. Also there is no piece that can defend, even at the time I blocked his bishop. So the only way he can activate a3 or c1, but if he tries one of that, I think c1 can be really good, because if I go knight c3, just he will trade and take a pawn. That should be prevent. Okay. He is attacking on my bishop, but I have bishop h4, and if queen escapes, king g5, that should be pin. He can't do anything from there. But what if a knight a3? If it takes, that should be trade. Just one rook. With that another piece is okay, but queen g5. Let's play it. I was afraid knight f3, and if I go back, another bishop would be hang, but his queen can trade. And his rook is under attack, and this pawn is under attack. If I take the pawn, his rook will be in a dead attacking square. So that's why I could create something there. Now I'm wondering, knight d1 and his rook will be under attack. Also his bishop, he has to give it to me, one of that figures. I will do it in my next move. In the past I can't because the knight was under attack. Okay, now I can't go d1, but c2 is a move that I'm attacking on his rook, because that's blocking rook's way. Probably back, because a2 and d3 is hang. Let's see what pawn he will gonna give to me. If he takes c5, I will fork his rooks. I'm not sure he will do that blunder or not. But anyway, let's wait for his respawn. Okay, he chooses to defend. But I don't like to give him that really good pawn. Bishop h4 back. If I take the knight, I will take this pawn on d3 after some trade, because I'm down a piece, but my position is really active, so I'm trying to bring my bishop on a3 fork and take his rook. Also his rook on here isn't doing anything great. Just... okay, that should be trade, which I don't like. Even knight a2, and after rook a1, my knight should be troubled there. So bishop a3. Bishop h4, I believe won't work, because in his back figure, the knight could be protected after all that. Let's check, and knight f4. King h1. King h1 or f1 doesn't matter. Let's don't forget that c5 is hang. I would like to protect, because if not, he will bring his rook on that really good c file. How can he protect his rook? I think he can't, because the only squares that he can go g3, g4, and I can't pin this. If g5, that should be open attack. g3 will be fork. Okay, g4, that was the only move. But let's create another threat here. Just I could even take this pawn on h5, but now I have another move that's just knight f2, I will take the rook, and it's really difficult to defend this rook, you know. Let's check one more time or not. If f2, okay, nothing will be under attack. d3 is defended very well from him. My bishop is doing great job, so I'm checking, and in the next move I'm gonna take the knight, and his knight and rook will be pinned. That's why pieces activating are the most good in the chess. Then even up a piece, he was up a piece, but he's gonna lose some figures. Even he'll be lost after this trade. His rook is under attack. King f1 was a really great move, but I can't say about rook c2, because he needs to defend his rook in that first rank to not plunder this knight. And he's giving that to me. Let's bring it back, because even like that I'm defending the bishop. Rook can take. Okay, that should be mistake, but his rook will be under attack. Let's send him the roll offer, because he played very well. Just time pressure. That's why probably he lost. Okay, he's not sending a match, no problem, let's play another game if you want to play Send Me Challenge. We have English opening there, so let's bring this pawn on c6, because that's a little bit blocking his bishop on g2. That looks like Catalan defense. Just he's giving me this pawn. If I even attacked from d5, he will sacrifice, and probably queen b3 and take it back should be the moves that he needs to do before I will go b5 and a5, try to bring my pawns in the queen side, okay? d5 can be a move because I need to do that, because now I can't activate the knight. So that should be idea that I can bring. And the file is open, so that's why I like this position. I am getting early rook activation. Knight d4 can be moved. If it takes, I would be happy, because if opponent plays g3 or b3, he needs to keep that bishop to not get squares, bad squares there. After this trade, let's take with a pawn to over defend the knight from even the pawn. Hello Goel Ben, do you wanna play? Let's bring the queen or not? I think we can bring the knight and the bishop, because this 3-point figures activation is the most important thing in that middle gamer opening than the queen and rook. Okay, find me on chess.com after this game, Send Me Challenge. I will play with you, okay? Let's overprotect the knight, because there can be some tricks just if he takes the pawn. That's a little bit hard to understand when you are down 10,000. That should be hard for you to realize, but in my last game I did that. You can check it, because you're removing the defender from the knight, and this time that's the pawn. I can take his bishop, but my knight in the middle, that's hitting so much squares on it. His bishop is just hasn't any move than 3 moves where all squares are defended by my knights. Let's not hang b7. Okay, b6, a7 is defended, so at this time I can bring the queen out. Okay, if I take the queen, I think that should be the only move, because that diagonal was open at the time. And knight is a little bit under attack. I can go back. I'm not sure what can I do. Let's take this. Okay, sorry for that. We don't need to take, because he will have that really good d-file for his rook, and at the time I can't bring that rook that should be defended. And when you are seeing open files, you need to go there with your rooks, because that's here I can bring that on 7th rank as white, but as black, because I'm playing with black pieces, I need to try to bring out it on e2, and I will hit so much pawns in this in his position, so I don't care if he takes the bishop, because somehow his knight is very active there, and so my bishop is active. But if he takes rook a2 can be free for going. The knight is defending that square, probably he's why he's not taking that. The knight isn't under attack. I would like to take, But because that can't happen, rook c8, bishop d5, okay. Okay, how can I bring the rook on that forward square? So I'm not sure. Rook d8, just d5, d4 is hang. d5 can move, he's trying to go forward. That's why I'm a little bit worried about. d5, king f8, and yes? His time is going lower and lower, and there is much risk that he should do any blunder in his position. I'm not sure, but let's see. Okay, that's our thing, and because we have +2 in every move, that still should be okay. His position is really dangerous. His bishop is doing great job. Let's bring the pieces back and try to overprotect this pawn from queening. Also, we can go near with my king. There is not much pieces left to create huge attack on it. I can bring the knight, but I don't need that. He's trying knight a7 and take the rook. Let's not blunder it too. c6 just can't happen. Now that can, that was just block his, in his position, right? Just why this bishop isn't doing anything? That's not helping. Bishop f7, let's bring it into the game. Or f5 can be moved if he tries to take the rook somehow from his rook. Let's be sure c8 is really over defended. Okay, every square are defended for my knight. He's trying to bring his knight and attack on my rook on c8. Okay, I'm happy to see this square is undefended. If he moves his knight, this pawn will be lost. And probably he would try to bring it back and bishop a6. Try to pressure my rook and take that. Okay, that's very pretty, his time runs off. Okay, Guel Pen, you found me on chess.com or not? Okay, I think that's you. Very much I rate it. Okay, I'm 2200 in Rapid, but for Blitz, I don't. How can we take a win from him? That should be very hard. Bishop a3. Okay, I protected g4 to not lose anything there. We need to be a little bit passive in this position. And let's also play a little bit fast for not losing on a time. Let's take... The right move will be if he takes with the rook to not blunder his pawn on a5. Okay, the knight is defending the pawn on a4, so let's bring forward another knight, probably f4. I can take the bishop, right? Or even f4. f4 if I take with the rook, I can double my rooks there. create some attacks on his king. Ah, that should be okay. Let's be sure e4 isn't hanging. We won't lose that, okay? He's trying to go b4 and take that pawn, which I said a5 can be moved. Try to do that before anymore. I think bishop f3 or d3 to protect that pawn, because if b4 I'm gonna lose that pawn, okay, at the time, but that is still not happening. Just if he takes, I don't think he will do, because I would have really nice d-file for now. Okay, I can't take, but I can go back. If he takes, he's up a pawn. Okay, I will try to bring my bishop on g6 or not, or d3. Let's go h5. Probably rook f1, and his f7 will be a little bit unprotected. We will try to take that. Okay, my bishop is under attack. Let's go back, and c2 is hang, but not a problem. I can check from d8. If he takes, his rook will be hang. Let's do that. Okay, what I missed you so. Okay, I missed that. So I think I didn't play so bad. Hey man, this is Jude. Okay, what can I call that name? Jude? You were on my live yesterday. I've given me advice of the vertical format so I can get more viewers. You're awesome, man. Keep going. Okay, thank you, bro, for coming. That's really nice that you are gaining more followers. I'm happy to listen that. I just help for that. Okay, let's get this opening. I played Sicilian, but now that looks like French defense. Also, he started with e4 and then c3, right? A looping gambit here we have. Bishop e7 to protect these squares, and somehow he can't jump with some figures to make trouble for me. Probably he don't want to castle, because a lot of players doing like that. e6 is a little bit weak, but anyway, this f-file is open. Okay, how I said, players like that isn't trying to castle, because his queenside is a little bit overextended. c-file is open, but because if he castle, he will lose some, I will say, activity over in his position. He will be a little bit slow, And at the time, because he will be slow, I will try to bring another pieces into the game and take advantage from there. That's why they are not doing castle. If he takes with the knight, I will mate him, but he has the queen too, don't forget about that. Let's sacrifice the bishop from h4. You see why? If he takes with the rook, knight will be hang. If he takes with the knight, that should be made. Let's go here, he can't take this pawn back. Just because f2 will be undefended. If he takes with the bishop, okay, I will take. Because I didn't like to keep that on bishop on attacking square on h4. Bishop d7, and how I said, because this c file will be open, I will try to go there and knight b4. Oh, okay, he could even go there. Queen f4, okay. I'm just getting free that f7 square, so if he checks, I can bring the king here and that should be okay. I can even try to do like this, but f7 is defended. Really bad. Just king f8, I wish I go, but that can't happen. How can I save this position? I think still I can't. Okay, I can't even run my king if I take king a3. Just... okay. I played not that bad, but the main thing that you don't need to do to open that h file, which I opened. That's why I lost. I think bishop from h4 to g5, a little bit inaccuracy. I tried to bring my pawns on active squares, but besides that I opened h file, which was really tricky. Probably that was the idea that he castled to bring another rook into the game. Okay, one more time with him. Let's try to win this time. I will play a little bit aggressive. f4 and knight f3, okay. He won me one time there. c3 and d4, I will try to do that to overprotect his central pawns, and that should be GG. He will take with a queen. I'm not sure, but let's do that. I will lose a pawn. Can I go d3? I would be happy if I get some activation there. b5 he's trying to go. So d4 is overprotected, so now I can go, but I really like pressure on that c5. But how? I haven't any piece that can attack on there. c4 can be a move that will kick my bishop from b3 to c2. But I think on c2 my bishop can be really great at the time. He's not trying to do that. Okay, my bishop is under attack and also the pawn. How can I defend all that? I think I can't. Let's go bishop back. Okay, we are losing a pawn. Probably we can even trade some materials there. And even the queens. I would happy to trade. Because his bishop and rooks isn't doing anything great there. So we can even trade, my pawns will be double. But because a5 will be open, that should be tricky for him, you know? b5 is hang, he can't take it back. He saw, that's why he brought the rook. In this position he can trade all that. He's up a pawn, my pawns are double. I tried to attack on this a6 pawn. But now my plans are changed. So rook trade is gonna happen. He's trying to bring the king closer. Knight c3, just have some good square. Just that's protecting d5 and his bishop can't jump. Also there's neutral squares where even my knight can't go there. Let's go g3 because if I bring my king on a3, g2 will be hang. I'm going king a3 and d3. Okay, he traded. Let's trade. I'm not sure if I don't trade just and give him that open d file for him. That's probably should be losing, but here my knight can be tricky. Bishop d5 just before should protect that position. My queenside pawns are a little bit weak, so what if I defend? Ah, okay. That pawn lost. If it takes, probably I can't try to take the bishop just back, okay. Knight d5. His time is low, he played great, but can he win? I think yes. a4 will be mistake. Okay, and that's draw. I'm happy to see I could draw this position. He played great, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. Let's protect the knight. h6 or not? Let's open this file. Well, his bishop is under attack. I went there to not give him this diagonal. I can take, but I don't need it. Just if he takes, I will take with a pawn to have a really nice pawn chain over there. Let's see what I will gonna do. His knight is under attack. After that, his pawn will be lost. He can't even go back, just there is no square he has to take. And I will use it as advantage because my rook is open and all these pawns are defended. I don't have to trade, okay? Let's keep this pawn chain. And even I6. We will take at the time when I will think can be any threat about that. Let's bring the rook. Knight g4. I think his king side is defended and I can't make some advantage there. My pawn structure is really good on that queen side. What if I bring the rook from f8 to c8? Okay, he's trying to bring forward. Really good idea. That's when opponent moving a piece, you need to think what he cannot do. How I'm doing. Okay, I forced him to go g3 to not be mate there. Let's go back, b3 is hang. I will take it in the next move if he not defend. I think he will do. The good thing is that his time is a little bit low, so I will try to go b4 and then c3. I would get active pawns there. Knight e2, just c3, okay? And at the time I can jump my knight on a4. Yes, I can jump and d2 will be great square for me. I will try to go with the knight. I think he still can't take. But this is hang, let's take with the knight because he can't take. And okay, I can't go d2, he will take and I couldn't take it back because I would lose the queen for that. e5 and I will try to check, okay? He takes with a pawn, he will lose the knight. And I have from h3 check. Okay, let's take with the rook. I thought he would take, but he isn't doing. g3 is under attack, queen g2 can be moved, okay, he plays. The other pawn is hanged, so I'm going to be up very much pawns over there. That should be winning and he resigned. Okay, very well played. I'm a little bit nervous how I did that. Okay, let's play one more. Before this time we will play that. We'll play like galloping gambit and queen c2. Let's protect g4 because I would like to bring my bishop on e3 to centralize that and defend all the pieces there. So at the time he couldn't jump with his knight. He's probably trying to go f5 to block my really good pawn chain there. And b4 is a little bit weak, that's why we need to protect. And I'm not... I won't go d5, I would like, because e5 will be very well defended from him. Let's get out from this pin, probably that will need somehow after some moves later. We can just open attack and oh, my piece will be gone after that. Queen d2 and bishop h6 can be moved. I will try to trade. Okay, how could I miss that? Very bad. Let's take the bishop. Okay, that's with a check. How we are down a full rook? Ah, okay. Because he took that. I can bring the queen back and knight g5. Try to mate him from h7 and even e7 is unprotected. But if I take rook a8 and... Okay, he can't go there because the knight will be hanged, so I would have enough time to bring the knight on f4, right? Because after knight f6, knight a6, which he can take with f7 pawn because 4 pin, that should be winning. Not winning, just I'm trying to fork. The bad thing is his knight is defending. Okay, he's not trapped my queen. e4 will be lost. What should I play? Let's go b4 if he moves the knight, knight h4 check, and he will lose his rook. Hello Raul Rodriguez. Do you wanna play? See this game, I think I'm not playing that bad. 1.5, 1.5 against 2200 rated player. I don't think that's very bad, but we just missed really bad fork at this time. He's just a little bit overthinking player. Somehow I won some games because for that. Let's see what should I do. I'm not sure. Let's take. Can I check and draw his position? g4 can be moved, he can't take with 2 pieces, with 2 pawns. The other one is still hanging. Now he can take. He's spending so much time for his game, that should be the reason that he's not much higher rated than 2200. Okay, how I could get mate. Very bad. That was close to be draw. Okay, GG's, he played very well. Just we lost that one time. His time was very low, I would try to time him out. We have another 2100 rated player. Okay, let's trade and get this center. Knight f6. Okay, let's defend with a bishop and we will take with a knight if he takes, because still my queen is active. I don't need to just move it 2 moves because my knight isn't doing anything there, so I need to activate that as soon as possible and then bring the rook on that c file, because that's a little bit open, I will say, you know. Okay, still I defended my position. Knight c6. Let's push this forward, because now that's we're protected from the bishop on f6. And I will try to go a6 to kick his knight on that really bad square a3. Well, he resigned, I don't know why. Okay, let's check one thing.